And hello to all my Gemini friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for November 2021. Now, today they have dialed up for you a storyline spread. They specifically want us to do a financial spread. So our storyline is all going to be about different Geminis, finances, and different financial advice for the month of November. Obviously a very big theme. I've had some other signs too, but never to the gravity that they're going with Gemini in November. So they're dedicating an entire spread about finance. That's how important it is for Geminis in November. So that's going to be interesting to see what is in store for us there. They've also asked that I conclude with a Chakra Scrub. That's a spread that I do at the end of the reading that basically looks at your spiritual health. It looks at all the different chakras, the blockages, and what we can do about fixing and opening those up for you. So the cards are already shuffled. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to bring you in so you can watch here. So go ahead and hit the like button to build up the energy for the Geminis. There we go. So what I'm doing now are my ritual cuts. Basically cuts the deck into 3 different pieces, puts it back together in a separate order. I have a technique that I do this with. Kind of put the lowest on top. You don't have to do it that way, you just have to put it in 3. But I have my own kind of ways to do it too. So there we go with that, and then they're ready to run. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. Very, very important part there. So we're doing Gemini's storyline here in the financial sector. And the whole idea of storylines is to find the story that's right for you. We're going to have a whole bunch of them. And there may be some that don't resonate. And that's okay. Because it's all about finding the one that does. Got a flipper there. So there is our core group. I think everything is in view. That is what we're looking at here. It's going to be read as is. We have... 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we get 3 and 3. 3 uprights, 3 inverts, so it's clean enough to read. That's what we're looking at there. I'm going to add more cards to it, but first I need to figure out who's looking where. So we're going to do basically 3 different financial stories for Gemini. And like I said, it's really about finding the story that's right for you. A couple of these may resonate, but really that's more rare. It's really about finding the one. And because we're doing it this way, it's usually quite accurate. Am I still in view up there? Not really. Let me fix that for you. And then over here, that's good to run too. So not actually a whole lot of tarot cards being presented for the financial spread. Now let me just move this so you can see everything nice and clearly, because I do like to share with you what I'm doing, what I'm working with, and what we're looking at. Okay, that's pretty good. So there are our 3 stories, and let's get to work, Gemini. Let's do it. I'm going to start with the one that's right in front of me. I'm going to start right here. This is an interesting little story because they've done this for another sign too. It's a story with all pips, no majors. It's a lot of information, usually very specific too. So here's the thing with that. It's usually so specific that it's not for the group. So this is going to be the rarest story for my Geminis, more than likely. But you know, even if it's just 5% of you guys, I have to give it to the 5%. That's what they want us to do here. So story number 1. First thing they talk about is really, the finances need a lot of work here. Pretty much like they've been neglected, or you just kind of have the attitude of like, you just don't give a shit. I hate to use the word, but there's no better way to convey the message of this card. It's just like, you just don't care about it, or you haven't cared. So you've neglected your finances, and now they're basically saying that there's something that you have to leave behind and not look back. Hopefully this is not like a vehicle that you stopped paying on or forgot to pay on, or some kind of something that they're going to actually repossess from you. But that is the energy of what's going on here, and it can also be about you leaving something behind and moving on from it and not looking back. So even if, you know, somebody else, an authority source, does not take it back or take it away or do anything to kind of penalize you for it, it doesn't matter because the energy there is still the same. So whether it's your choice or somebody else's choice, they show leaving something behind and not looking back. Keep in mind, this is the rare story too. So if this does not fit you, that's just okay. The other thing they show here is a small failure moving forward, but you know, a small failure is better than a large failure, and it feels like, you know, as long as this thing starts to get corrected and starts to get righted in the right direction, a small failure is no big deal. It's just another speed bump in your path to kind of fix this situation. They say time to go, so they really want you to move forward with it. They want you to move away from whatever that situation is that you're leaving behind. You're leaving something behind there that's usually an emotional attachment. For some of you, this could be in relation to people or people's possessions or people's things. It's usually less about a person here because we are doing a financial spread. Now, if this was something different and that card came up, like let's say a love spread or something like that, and this card came up, I would definitely say leaving somebody behind or, something and not looking back. It's the same energy except with the finances. That's really what we have to tie it into here. So time to go. Don't delay, don't wait, don't procrastinate. This has got to be done like right now. They want you to move on from this. They want you to deal with the small failures that are going to come from it. Pretty much the fallout, I guess you could say. So you can just get over with it. So you can get it over with, get on with what is next, and hopefully much better things and lessons learned. Big important thing there. So there's story number 1 for Gemini. Now that the rare one is out of the way, my 10%ers or 5%ers, let's get into the crux of most of you. It's going to be this one here. I'm going to hit that one right now just so I don't lose your attention. The first thing they want to say is that a lot of you are being extremely guided right now financially right here. Whether you realize it or not, a lot of you are very blessed. And now it's interesting they show that because they also show the card of bankruptcy here. But the facing is away from bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is to the back. So you're being guided basically down an improved path. And I guess you could say, well, of course you are, because, or of course I am, because why would they be guiding me down a negative path? Like, well, of course not. They don't do that. But basically it's to kind of give you the little extra bit of hope or maybe a bump, a push in the right direction, to kind of get over this hump. They're saying that you're blessed regardless of this financial setback of yours. Whatever it is, there are all kinds of blessings attached to this. And moving forward, they actually show something worth celebrating here financially. It could be a party, it could be an event or a gathering, a family gathering of some form or a reunion. All that kind of stuff comes up here. But they do show you're being guided down that direction. So I'm not really too concerned with it. And in fact, I don't really have a lot of information to give you because there's nothing really bad. It's going in such a good direction now. It may not have been recently or in the super distant past. You may have had a hard go of it. But right now, there's not a lot to say about it because it is moving in the right direction. So I just need to kind of focus and stick with the fact that you're being guided, you're being helped from the other side to keep it in a straight direction so that you're pointing toward the celebration and you got the bad stuff, the bankruptcy and the debt and all that kind of stuff behind you. So this is a little similar to story 1. You can see kind of the congruence here, except this is a little lighter, first of all. And there is a lot of blessings here. They want to make sure that you focus on that there is a lot to be thankful for. You have a lot of good things, and not just because we're in the month of Thanksgiving, but just they're saying you are really blessed here. And there's a lot of good here. So definitely look at the good, be optimistic, do not be pessimistic as you move forward. So there's financial message for story number 2. Before I get into story number 3, I do want to tell you about the moon cycles. I do like to give you guys that forecast every single month. That way you just know what's coming and you can use it to your benefit. Now we have the new moon coming in on November 4th. That's the best time to bring anything new into your life. It doesn't matter what you're trying to manifest or bring in, whether it's love or new money, something financial, even health related or work. All that kind of stuff much better placed right around the 4th. Does not have to be on the 4th, just at the beginning of November. We have the full moon coming in. That's the garbage truck of the universe is what I call it. That is on November 19th. I used to say at the end of the month get something out, but now we have to change that because it's moving up. Now all the cycles are moving up. So now it's not the end of the month, because if you try to do it at the end of the month, it's not going to work good, because the end of the month we get back into new moon energy again. So the full moon energy on November 19th, that's when you want to get something out of your life, whether it's habits, emotional baggage, possessions, for some of you even people. Whatever it is you got to get out, it is much better placed right around the 3rd week of November. If you do that, and let's say you have a hard time letting go of something, it just has a much better chance of sticking if you do it around that time than if you do it under the new moon energy. And the same thing applies to the new moon energy. If you're trying to bring something in, let's say you have a hard time bringing in new money, best time to do that is when the lunar cosmic energy is primed to do so. So November 4th, new moon, bring it in. November 19th, full moon, get it out. That's what we have there. So let's get into story number 3 for you guys. We have, we really need you to lock up your home. I'm just going to give this as a public service for all the Geminis right now. Really need to lock up your home this month. There's a lot of theft possibilities. They are showing home, no place like home. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want any financial setbacks in the home. Hopefully this is something that can be avoided altogether. Just simple door locks and, making sure the doors are closed, windows are closed, locked, everything's just tightened up. Just a good time to double check that, really. Just kind of go through everything, because it does come up for quite a bit of you Geminis as potential. So hopefully this never comes true. This is one of those times that I hope I'm wrong, but it's presented because there's enough Geminis that have something like that come up that we have to address it. And that's really what this is all about here. It's almost kind of like they did 4 stories here, because this is I think it's related, but I don't think it's like super tight to it. I almost feel like they just wanted me to give all of you that one. But over here, okay, so, well, before I get into that, let me just see if there's anything else here. I feel like I'm missing something here. And, just be super careful, especially as we get into the holidays and cooking. Everybody's cooking at home and whatever. Just, don't leave burners on, and make sure everything's turned off. There's with the theft and the lost card, if you lose something, it could also be on accident. Somebody might not take it from you, so if you, accidentally set fire to your house or did something like that kind of energy, it would fall under the same thing and it would still be accurate. The card would be right. So just be a little cautious this month around your home. They specified home. So home, cautious, theft, loss, also deceit. In the financial corner, the only really thing that could be is if you have somebody in your house that is new, that has the potential to steal from you or be deceitful. So you might want to look out for that too. Be careful who you trust if you're bringing new people in, for the holidays and stuff like that. But that's, I think that's probably not really what the message is about. But I at least have to bring it out there and say it for you. All right, so here's kind of the gist of the rest. We have an upside down woman here financially. They call her the businesswoman, the working woman. This is not a stay-at-home mom that we're talking about. This is somebody who is, the business type, and they're getting over being hung up right here financially. So I guess if this is you, if you're a woman that fits that description that's coming in here, this is going to break here in November. This, whatever has got you upside down in regards to work and your finance, because usually they're attached very closely. Your work and your finance, very tightly attached for most people. So they're saying that this is going to break open. I have the Hanged Man inverted, so it's saying all the hangups are about to break, shatter, and things are going to get busier. So hopefully that means more money. That's what usually busyness means in the work corner. The financial corner is that there's movement, there's activity, things are going on. So that's very good to see. Hopefully that's something that you want. Hopefully you want activity there. Now for the rest of you, really, they want some of you to nurture your work more, because it's going to break open in the same energy. So they want you to kind of nurture it more so you're ready for it. Perhaps there's opportunities that exist there, promotions or raises or something like that. If you nurture your work more in November, the dividends could pay off down the road. So that's what we have there. So there's our 3 stories for finance. And before we get into the Chakra Scrub, I'm going to reshuffle that real quick just to give them an opportunity to use the cards again if there's a message that needs to be repeated. But I do also want to tell you about the newsletter giveaway. It's a huge thing. I'm actually going to do that while I shuffle instead of cutting away. The newsletter is you sign up for that absolutely free. It's at the very bottom of my website, scottsagent.com. You just enter your first name and your email, send that off, and then you're part of the newsletter program. And with that, I only send out 1 email a month for the newsletter. It's just for updates, promotional codes to save money on readings, and all kinds of good stuff like that. Now, I do giveaways on Facebook, so follow the Facebook page too. I do that around the 20th. But on the newsletter group, for the newsletter group, I'm doing specific giveaway next month, and everybody's gonna get it, so you want to be signed up for it. And it's gonna be one of my biggest giveaways ever. It's not a contest. Everybody wins here. So make sure you're signed up for the newsletter so you can get that in December next month. So let's get going with your chakra scrub. The cards have been shuffled quite a bit. Now I'm going to do the ritual cuts, which I always do. Put them back together in a separate order. Oh, jumped one there. Guess that wants to go like that. And then they're ready to run. So we go top to bottom, or at least that's how I do it. So top to bottom chakra scrub. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. We got some stuff to talk about. I can see why they wanted to do this. Let me see a couple things here. I normally don't do a whole lot of angel oracle cards with the chakra scrub, but there's a couple major themes here and I didn't want to miss. The root chakra, a lot of your root chakras go in a bunch of different directions here. I don't know if I view that as a good thing or bad. Your root chakra is, your core. It's your attachment to the physical world. It's your extremities, your arms, your legs, your sexual organs, your very bottom of your back, pelvic area. It's showing a lot of different directions. I don't really know what to say about that. Perhaps maybe a little bit of grounding would be good there. You can do that by getting into nature, getting your feet in the sand at the beach. That's what's so therapeutic about that. Getting in water. Water is a great conductor. All that kind of stuff, very, very grounding. Let's see. We have a blockage going on in orange, and the orange is your emotional center, and they also gave me the color orange to use as a guide here. So your orange is your emotional center here, so your emotions are being a little bit blocked right now. Perhaps you need to open up a little bit more, or you're keeping things in a little too tight. That could definitely use some work on as far as opening. Now your third one, from the bottom, I guess I'm reading this in reverse here. I'm starting at your feet and kind of going up. But here, they gave me yellow as a guide. So they're just lining up exactly to the colors. Very, very good birth. And that's your free will. This is exercising your willpower, your go-to, and your bullheadedness, in a good way, of course. So that is kicking extremely good. They show that as birth or, fertility. So it's a good time to do anything that requires willpower. Take advantage of that. November, a great time to do anything new that is going to require your will and that you're going to have to get up to do every day. Whether it's an exercise thing or whatever it is, for you, anything that's going to require you to actually check in and do it all the time, consistently, that kind of stuff. Really good willpower month for November for my Geminis. Heart's coming in fine. Continue to nurture. They show you're doing a good job of that. Just be careful who you give your heart to. Protect it, from people who don't deserve it. Share it with people that do. Not a lot to say there. It's coming in pretty good. Not a whole lot to discuss. Your throat. There's a lot of stuff going on as far as binding of your throat. Perhaps some of you may want to watch what you say this month. That could be a message for that too. Be careful what you say, how you say it. Also, we have habits that come through the throat, so a lot of smoking type stuff or any kind of tobacco type stuff can come up here. And that is, of course, a physical thing. That's less about chakras, but everything is connected. So just keep it in mind. We have the fates here, so this is a lot about fates and less about your choices right now this month. It's a very interesting message. I'm not exactly sure how to take it. They show it being bonded, so probably not a good time to change anything. Okay, that might be the whole message. If some of you are trying to quit something like that, quit habits, around the throat area where your throat chakra would come up here, they're saying that you're bound. We have the devil card here. So it's probably not the month to do that. Not the month to quit any kind of habits in that regard around the throat area. Third eye, not worried about it. Coming in pretty good. So your dreams, all that stuff, getting through the way it should. We end with the crown chakra. That's like a crying mess. It's the card of sickness and just kind of mental fog. And when we're talking about the crown chakra, that means that you're not getting that lunar energy through. You're not getting the cosmic energy and the sun and all that stuff. It's hitting here and it's just not getting down the rest of the way. So that's probably what the whole thing is about. I know I gave you a bunch of other good little tidbits there, but this is the main bulk. This is the meat and potatoes here. They want your crown chakra to get worked on. So you can open this up a multitude of different ways. I don't have any kind of guided meditations on it, but that's probably the best way to do it. There's different kinds of frequencies and all that kind of stuff you can look up on YouTube for free that you can listen to for meditation and even just kind of like working on like a prayer state or a meditative state before you go to bed. Just imagining that purple. It's a bright purple, the same color of my as the videos this month. It's that bright purple color is your crown chakra. Imagining that opening and imagining it opening. And spinning can kind of help open it too. So that's kind of like the vibe there. And there's really not much else to say about that. That's kind of the main thing that they want you to work on out of all the different chakras. So we've been through the entire gamut, and I know that some of these are specific, and that's what happens. The general ones, it happens because it's a general reading. There's a lot of Gemini energy here, and I appreciate you guys. Gemini does a great job every single month with the views. The views are always really good for Gemini. But at the same time, it's a general reading. We have a lot of Geminis here, and that energy does get bubbled here. So if you're looking for messages that are private, personal, specific only to you, I do offer private readings on my website, scottsagent.com. So that's going to wrap us up here. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving and have a great time with your family and loved ones. And I will see you all soon. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in December.